Hi, welcome back to Elfcraft and Vinyl. I'm Sharon, and today's tutorial is a reclaimed piece of wood, and I make it into a double-sided sign using adhesive vinyl, which is now, I'm happy to say, available on our website, and the sign itself is in our marketplace. So please stay and see the tutorial and then jump on over to our website and have a look. Thanks, bye. Hi, before we start, we're going to kick off with our December competitions. There's one a week up till Christmas. The first draw will be on the 1st of December, and to be entered into the first draw you have to put a flower emoji in the comments on any of the YouTube videos and make a purchase, like, share or subscribe. As I say, please put the flower in, otherwise I won't know you'll want to be included. And you get an entry for each of those things. So if you purchase and like, or if you share and like, you'll get 2 entries into the competition. And week 1, the gift is a £20 gift voucher, and you can use that to buy HTV, adhesive vinyl, or any of our personalised gifts from our website. So this is a piece of reclaimed wood that I bought from Stratton Reclamation Yard here in Swindon. They've got a really good selection of reclaimed wood. No, this isn't a sponsored video. I just like the quality of the wood. It's quite old, it's well seasoned, and it does have a green stain on it, which I took a belt sander to because I wanted more of the natural grain coming through. So as you can see, I took it outside in a well ventilated area. It's a lovely piece of wood. Then using my Cricut Air 2, I cut out the design on Image Perfect 5700. This is a permanent adhesive, and there we go. It's ready to weed. As you can see, I used the ends of my large rolls to cut my stencils. You'll need pick, tweezers, scissors, Mod Podge, tape, some sort of sealant, and some paint, some brushes, and obviously your vinyl. So I start with the nativity side of the sign. As you saw at the beginning of this tutorial, one side is a welcome sign, so you can use all year round, and the other side of the sign is a nativity. And so I started with the nativity side, and we are reading out the shepherds first. And in a moment you'll see that as I'm weeding the star, it's lots of little pieces. So I use a piece of tape, this is actually painter's tape that I use, just to lift up those bits. It's a way, if you've got an intricate pattern, just to pick up the bits that you want to weed out of there. And for those that don't know what weeding is, it's just removing the part of the design that you don't want. So as this is a stencil, I'm going to be removing the middle. I'm going to do a couple of tutorials coming up with the heat transfer vinyl again, sort of Christmas present ideas, things you could sell at a craft fair. And here I am just about to, you'll see it's very easy to do, I just loosen it up and then press it down. So yeah, not long now at all to Christmas, so all our crafting friends and ourselves are very busy making sure that we've got everything in for all those presents and decorating ideas that we have this time of year. I'm going crazy. And here we are weeding out. The shepherds have been done, and I had reversed the turned the sheet around, and the manger was on the other side of that sheet, and here I am weeding out the manger. I haven't I filmed the whole lot, but I haven't left it all in because you would be bored to tears. So once everything's weeded out, I cut out the individual pieces of my scene, and just to allow me to place them on my board, I cleaned my board. Obviously you saw me belt sanding it, but I also gave it a good hard brush and a clean. And it is a rustic piece of wood. So when I put the adhesive vinyl on, I blasted it with the heat gun. That makes it a bit more pliable, and you can push it into all the grooves and the pattern of the wood. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So here you can see all my pieces are now cut out. I've placed them where I want, and I'm finding the centre. So I've measured it as well. That's why I've got the tape measure around my neck. And I'm just doing the final adjustments before I place it on my board. I liked the green patternation. Obviously this is very old. You know, it's maybe as much as come out of a building that maybe 100 years old or 50 years old or longer. And I really liked the patternation, but I just wanted to clean it up a little bit so as to make an interesting backdrop for the nativity scene. So this is not smooth wood. If it was smooth wood or laminate, or some of the other signs that I'm going to be making on the run up to Christmas, I wouldn't bother with the next step, which is applying Mod Podge. You may know that, you know, the reason that you would apply Mod Podge is to make a seal so the paint can't bleed under your design. But on this wood, because it was so characterful, I decided just to play safe and put the Mod Podge down. So here I am pulling away the tape. I've decided now that this tape, as you can see, I'd put down quite a few pieces, and I decided that it was time to get rid of that piece of tape. Pardon me. So just making sure that I'm happy with my placement. Getting another piece of this is the transfer paper, which I really like. And then onto the Mod Podge. I've had this matte Mod Podge for, I don't know, about 3 years. For my paper crafts, I like art glitter glue, but for things like this, Mod Podge is brilliant. But I do let it dry thoroughly in between, and on this day I used the heat gun to make it dry a bit quicker, and also, as I say, to make the vinyl a little bit more pliable so that it can be really rubbed into those creases. And you'll be thankful to know I don't sit and show you me applying Mod Podge to the whole thing. And there we go, it's all done. Now Mod Podge will pool. If you've got a crack or you know, a joint, it will pool. So I go back over and I just give it a brush with the grain just to remove any pooling that's there. So once it's thoroughly dried, I use black acrylic paint. And you can see that I'm using a sponge brush. I'm taking a little bit of paint and cleaning up my brush a bit, so there's only a little bit on, and then I go over the design. And once I'm happy that I've got a thin covering over the whole design and it's dried a little bit, I then go back and put a second thicker coat on. And where I'm worried I might go over the edge, I use my painter's tape just as a barrier. It doesn't take long and it is quite enjoyable to do. Christmas is one of my favourite times of the year, and I really enjoy all the making your home more comfortable and cosy as the nights draw in. And they are drawing in at the moment. I mean, it's very dark here, and at the moment, whereas I'm recording this, it's only 10 to 6 in the evening. So for the start, I could not find the gold acrylic paint that I had. So I ended up using a gold pen, a paint pen. And I really liked, it gave a really nice metallic sheen. I painted the star black and then I put the gold on top just to make it a bit of a deeper colour. It dries very quickly, these pens, and then whilst that's drying I just go over and remove all the vinyl. And actually I got very little in the way of bleeds or stripping off the wood. Sometimes you can get little splinters coming up, but I was lucky on this day. Some people use a temporary vinyl, and sometimes I do as well, to make their stencils if the wood looks like it's likely to splinter, just to make it a little bit less tacky. But as I say, this Image Perfect IP 5700 worked really well, and this is in our store now at www.elfcraftandvinyl.com. So pop over there and see it. If you win the prize draw in the first week in December, then you will be able to use that perhaps to buy it. And here I am removing the vinyl from the star. In January I have got a large box of scrap vinyl, both adhesive and HTV vinyl, and later in December I'll give you details of how to enter the scrap box draw in January. I figured I'd do it in January because people will be getting their machines for Christmas, or people's stock might be a bit low after Christmas, so that's why I'm going to do it in January. So here we are. I've flipped the sign over, I've measured it, and I've started applying all the letters. Now I'm not going to take you through every step because it's exactly the same as on the other side. So I put my design down, I then put Mod Podge on it, let that dry, blasted it with the heat gun, and then I painted it again with the black acrylic paint. And I measured each of the letters. I think it was 3 centimetres between the top and bottom of each letter, and then I just used my eye just to line everything up, and the middle of each letter, 11 centimetres, was down the middle of the board. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and enter that prize draw by putting a flower emoji below.